Last time they answered the Sand King with the Invoker. Now they go with the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend is actually one of the potential heroes that, if Sand King goes mid, it can destroy the Sand King. It's a very skillful matchup. It could also just become another 50-50 story because Merah is like the best mid laner at making hard matchups.
What's up guys, welcome back to my channel.
However,
don't forget to
this
subscribe,
could be
like,
one way to punish
share dan
It's also a
komen ya.
flexible hero, right? We just saw that they played 4 games of Shadow Fiend actually, 2 on Lyle and 2 on Yatoro. So, and they are second pick this time around, right? So they can flex this guy all the way till the end. So that's also worth noting, I think.
It's really strong on mid, but the way Yatoro played a couple of games, I've never seen anyone as active on Shadow Fiend as he was. Just gets his stacks and rotates like he was ganking mid in one of the series, minute 6-7, so definitely can make that hero apply a lot of pressure early in the game.
A couple heroes we should be keeping on our radar that were first phase banned in the previous game is the Bristle and the Monkey King. Both banned are still in, and I still feel like I have to mention the Marcy as well, just because, but both of these teams ignored it in the previous game.
I guess both these teams don't really like Marcy at all. We know it from Falcons watching their series earlier, but it also doesn't seem like it's something that Spirit want to touch.
From Spirit, I expect maybe another
Aman
position
lah.
4 or 5 that's melee and
Let's
bulky,
go,
something like
let's
that they had in the last game. Just combos up and frees up that position 1 Shadow Fiend if necessary.
Funnily not, like we talked about the Bounty Hunter, I actually felt like the Ogre was more lackluster in that game than the Bounty Hunter, just because the Bloodlust is nice, and he did tank a lot of smokes, but yeah, I don't know if that's enough. You know, it's that hero for me was not it.
He just didn't multicast the Midas enough times.
And the Spirit can go for multiple routes here. It will most likely be a ban into a support pick. A hero that has been highly contested in the previous years was Tiny. And Tiny Shadow Fiend is a classic combo where you are able to toss a target onto your Shadow Fiend if Rue likes that hero. I'm not sure if it's
play
archetype, but if that's the case, it has been one of the most contested melee fours, if not the most contested melee four, and has always been really strong with Shadow Fiend. So they could look at that. Either that or a casual +5 pick for Mikoshka, like the Ogre we saw last game. What else is there to say? Clockwork.
They've banned out the Abaddon on the side of Team Spirit. What can we learn from that? Because we don't see that in the second phase bans that frequently as Ogre comes out straight away.
I feel like this lane, if it's laned this way, Ogre and SF, this doesn't lose to 90% of dual lanes that can hit you with a 4 and 3. The combination is obviously very valuable down the line with the Bloodlust. With the Prophet, it was value later on, but with the Shadow Fiend, maybe even more so.
I mean, he had a hard game as well, right? They came.
Spirit Falcon turnamen website-nya kok jadi paling bawah. Penasaran yang mana yang depan. Standing kok nggak kelihatan ya. Belum update di sini mah. Main aja dah. Main aja dah. Apa di sini 49 Oh bukan. Baru 26 menit. satu yes for lumayan sih, coba aja dah.
So,
Lama banget. Welcome Ayu. Dapat matchnya agak lamaan. Dapat. Loh, kok nggak bisa diklik? Gimana ceritanya? Kaget aku. Hai. Kalau bisa masuk, iya kali kalau bisa masuk ah. Aduh, kenapa ini? Ya ampun, dikutuk tiba-tiba. Gini nih kalau altab tuh. Nunggu lagi 2 menit dong. Gara-gara altab guys, sorry guys. Makasih ya guys yang udah like, udah follow, udah subscribe. Terima kasih banyak my friend. Ya Allah.
It'd be interesting. We saw Tundra play that earlier. As, again, a winning matchup against both Monkey and Sanking, no matter who goes mid.
And not really a lot of
And
catch,
there's
right?
not a lot of catch. I mean, the Soulbind can catch you off guard potentially, but apart from that, you even have a Shadow Demon to save you and back you up, so...
Spirit needs to be careful they also don't pick something too greedy, where suddenly SS farms, Magnus farms, everyone's farming, and there's not much playmaking going on.
You say that, and it's a Morphling.
That's pretty greedy, no?
That's very greedy.
It is,
Very greedy.
but again, it's maybe a hero that the Toro feels like they cannot really kick him out of the lane. Feels like he can just sit there in the safe lane for a long time, and that in itself makes it less greedy, if that's the case, right? Because then you sort of just sit down there and it's more or less unkillable as this Morphling.
I also feel that once they pick this Morphling, they're literally saying we have the ultimate win condition in the game, right?
Yeah.
The only problem is Dark Portrait also is an ultimate win condition on the other side, and I have a feeling Crit might be eyeing that item very early on.
Imagine soul binding both Laurel and Yatoro, and then getting your portrait off.
Yeah.
That's quite a lot of damage with Shadow Fiend and Morphling there.
But yeah, it's an interesting pick, this Morph. I'm also a bit surprised to see it. Wonder what the thought process is there.
Yeah, I'm definitely surprised because I felt like honestly the team's win condition is already very strong, and now you put yourself in a risky position that if the lanes go a little bit out of control, there will be a window where Lal on the Shadow Fiend will want Kaya Yasha plus one item, Blink Dagger. Yatoro is a Morphling, he wants 3 items anyway, and Magnus also needs Blink Dagger, maybe one more item as well. So this can maybe backfire a bit. I'm not 100% sold on it, but let's see if Yatoro can make some magic happen.
You gotta play pretty clean on the 3 cores. You cannot afford to die and make some mistakes there. And I think the support also have to do a heavy lifting, creating that space. Miposhka is gonna have to walk into some smokes, walk into some death this game, undoubtedly.
Intentionally, like
yeah, I think Miposhka is not walking out of this game without death. I don't think so.
I feel like the call was on Yatoro what he wanted, and he gets his Morphling maybe a little bit inspired. Was it yesterday or this morning when Shiro played? Yesterday, right? He had some really nice Morphling performance into a Sand King as well, right? That's something to think about.
So against Falcons.
Yeah, and there are some very nice juicy morph targets here for the Morphling.
Well, we're gonna find out. Will we have a third game to this series? Will we have another 70-minute games on our hands? Will Falcons just straight up take this series 2-0 and secure playoffs for the international? We're finding out together with Odie Pixel and Fug.
Thank you very much, Shiv. Yes, game 2 time here, ready to start off between Falcons and Spirit. Fog, what do you make of this? It feels like another draft. I feel like so many teams do this again in TIs when it comes to crunch time, last pick. They're holding on, you know, 1 loss away from going home. They turn to their carry, they say, what do you want to play? And they say Morphling. Yeah. It happens so many times, and as we've seen, you know, with mixed results, right? I think it was close to sort of a 50% win rate we've been having on this road to the TI on the Morph.
This is interesting. Right, because
now I'm like looking at. Actually, we went just get a first blood immediately.
All right,
speeding up on.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Skitter's gonna be happy with that.
Sometimes you pick the Morphling right away, and then
you get caught on sub 300 HP. So, first blood for Falcons.
I mean, an instant bounce into a nuke, and he's actually just immediately dies. All right. So things I was seeing from the Morphling pick at least was what the panel was saying: some limited catch in some ways, but there is there is ways they can play around it with the Soul Bind, the stun from the Monkey King, and the Sand King. However, the other thing is he can all 3 of the cores that he can morph into are fantastic in the mid game. He gets mobility from Weaver. Stun from Sand King plus a mobility spell and a stun plus a mobility spell. It's like the dream to turn into any of the 3 of these when you're fighting, which is sometimes also an indicator of a decent Morphling game as well. But let's see if it works. I think the other thing that I see from Spirit is they add a team fight, right? Last game it was pretty lackluster in the team fight department, but they made those fights work anyway. This time I think they wanted to make the game maybe a little easier to play, perhaps.
Tapi seenggaknya mukaku ada gitu kan. Kalian bisa lihat mukaku. Jadi nggak usah ini kamera lagi.
Yep. That's kind of the dream for the Weaver. Starting first blood for Weaver is very nice when he's playing versus a lane that has no stun. So this is a lane that can actually get punished pretty hard. Yeah, Magnus. Shadow Demon can play around it where if you have a sentry down and you see the Weaver Sakuchi, you can immediately disrupt him and then you can look for making these plays. But a Weaver with an early advantage with a hero like Pugna behind him can be incredibly potent.
And what are we getting out of this mid matchup? Maori once again on the Sand King up against Alal on the mid SF.
Could be a hard lane. It should be on paper, right? A hard lane for the Sand King, but Maureen is the specialist Sand King, and he is the specialist, as I believe they were saying on the panel also, of just doing really good in matchups that can sometimes be very difficult. He's very manipulating creep waves in the mid lane.
Hallo, Alexander.
Top, they actually won the Sentry War immediately. So Snaking, he was able to place that Sentry, take it out right away. So Skitter's playing in a lane versus no Sentry at the moment. And Pugna,
makasih yang udah like.
Inside that lane.
Good job of bullying back collapse. Indeed, sort of ensuring a lane where Skitter incredibly unlikely to die.
Yeah. Has to make a pretty big mistake, I would imagine. Or, yeah, just pretty much a big mistake if he gets caught from a disruption under a sentry. Bottom, Amar, this feels like, I know he's been doing this a lot more recently again too, but this is like an Amar of the past kind of thing where he plays this kind of carry hero, but also this anti-carry in a way in that off lane. Because it can be pretty annoying to deal with this Monkey King. If he gets off to a good start, he can bully a lot with that Jingu early on.
because overall, you know, the panel did talk about just in general how greedy Spirit's draft can look when you consider the streak scores. Do you think they're likely to get away with the greed? You know, is this them sort of saying, hey, you know what, this is probably going to be a 60-minute game, we're going to get time for everyone? Or do you think Falcons, this game, we might actually see a rare situation where Falcons could have the potential to close this one up a lot shorter than the 60-minute games we've been seeing for them?
It's Falcons. It's 60 minute. Let's be real. No, maybe not 60-minute game, but it should be a much longer game. Also, looking at what they have to push, I don't see a Dominator builder on their draft. They have a Pugna to be able to force buildings, but on the side of Spirit, they do have a Dominator builder. And we've seen these Dominators just prolong games. Just cutting the creep waves constantly is a rare miss.
Didn't lost the mark there from Collapse. Even with the connection, probably wasn't quite close enough to get the shockwave into skewer back.
Amar. He's got the Orb of Frost. He's trying to get the connection onto Yatoro. Yatoro won't let him get that. But he's definitely gonna slow this Morpher down a bit here. The Pushka has hit level 2, has a second spell.
They go aggressive. From Marmar's got the backup of crit. Stick charges, damage is done.
Heads up there from a Pushka on the side. Crit still wasn't back in the area. Laurel so far is doing a fantastic job. So in terms of greediness, I mean, there's definitely that greed that's always going to be there from the Morph, but I don't feel like the Shadow Fiend is very greedy whatsoever. Yes, he wants his items, but he's got to win this matchup. I don't know how Maureen actually can... Yes, he has boots to try to cut, but I imagine Laurel's going to get boots, and he can follow the Sank. You can actually do a pretty good job of bullying the SK while you're playing the Shadow Fiend if you do get your boots as well.
Now, would you say sort of like overall these two mids should be on track to hit kind of similar timings and similar sort of power spikes? You know, how do they sort of match up in that regard?
I think actually, you know what? I'm kind of taking it back. I think Maureen's actually going to hit the timing first.
Yeah, it's going to take. It will still take a bit longer for the SF. Yeah,
you know, actually, like thinking about it more, it is pretty dangerous because the issue is that there's always going to be these stacks that are coming out, and even if the lane goes slightly bad, Maureen will probably actually come out ahead in the lane. It's just pretty wild to say.
Because especially with the backup he has, even just kind of looking at Crit on the Grimstroke, right? If they get a good Blink Dagger timing on the Sand King,
he can kill.
And they're going to make like these Burrow Strike, Inkswell stuns, jumps onto the SF, onto the Morphling, even onto the Sand King, they're going to have a very good chance of getting those kills at a point of the game where Spirit might not be quite ready to fight back.
And Maureen, so far, I think every game, even when he's been shut down on the Sand King, I want to say he gets a sub 12-minute Blink Dagger.
It's always very consistently quick on his Blink Dagger timings.
And he immediately does the thing where he pulls the neutral creeps into... He pulls the lane creeps into the neutral camp, so he's even already starting to get that maximizing. He's actually ahead of the SF by 500 gold. If you look at the last hits, you saw that the SF was actually ahead in last hits, but
that's pretty crazy.
The Sand King is significantly ahead.
I understand, you know, drafting against Falcons must be incredibly hard, but I am surprised how many times they do let the Sand King through. Maureen has definitely been showing his strengths on the field. I think most of the time, if you let them have it, they will just take the Sand King from Maureen with how solid of a showing he's been giving.
I feel like he'll just take it for him every time. He's clearly shown he's by far the best Sand King. Laurel will get a free lane though. So level 6 has been hit. They've got the catapult wave 2. He's going to start to put some pressure onto the tower here. Are they going to look to make a rotation mid? It looks like they're actually going to make the move bottom. So all eyes focused on Yatoro.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Nice. That picture of collapse.
The setup. Disruption's there.
He's speedy.
He's going to be fine.
So missed move there from Rue. That means they didn't double check the runes, which ensures that Falcons gets that regen rune from Maureen. Level 6, 400 ahead of the SF. So yeah, he's done it again. Raindrop also, so he's fine.
I would have definitely liked a bit of backup to try and that power and control himself. Would have helped him with the jungling.
I thought Rue was going to go there because they could potentially
testing.
Play, since he did have that slight level advantage, but looks like the call was made for him to try to assist in bottom.
Across the board, all three cores of Falcons having slightly better time out of these lanes.
Yep, that first blood in particular from the top lane, you're seeing that difference, especially. Rue in a pretty sneaky spot here. Looks like he's got to try to steal the Shrine of Wisdom.
They're going to have the chance to bring him down. Easy kill from Mark.
And Brew, look at that sneakiness.
And Maori's going to be here.
Does he go for the disrupt steal?
He is.
Does he do it in time?
Don't know if it's going to be quick enough.
He was not in time.
He's not going to be able to make the steal happen. Maureen's going to be able to hold his position, secure the Shrine of Wisdom for himself, and likely get a kill on top of that. As he turns towards Rue, comes in with a Burrow Strike to finish it off. So not only getting a kill, but also being like, oh, what a shame. I've got to take that Shrine of Wisdom for me.
So usually when I've seen people do this in the past, you're kind of standing in the circle already, so that when you get that disruption, you get it immediately. But it was just slightly off time there from Rue. Good attempt for that sneaky play there, but inevitably it actually just ends up hurting more than anything as Maureen. He's going to be enabled toward a very quick Blink Dagger, maybe even faster than we were talking about because of that.
And they just have so many ways to make plays. You know, I look at Falcons lineup, and again, as we say, normally Falcons games do go pretty late, but you just got to imagine the amount of action that Falcons can start playing with. It's pretty insane, right? The sort of combos that they can team up with, all three cores are going to be ready to go in, and with sort of the offensive backup of the Grim and the defensive backup of the Pugna, they've got so many ways to make plays. We'll see in the river. Grim's going to come out and push back Maureen and crit, but it won't be enough to save Maposhka as Maposhka goes down. He's in a lot of trouble as well. The Sandstorm burning him down. Rue will try and help out here with the disruption. Lal should be okay. No, here comes Amar. Jumps in, bound the strike, couple of right clicks. Can he finish Lal off? He can't. He comes in with snaking right clicks. Will finish the job. Burrow strike from Maureen comes in onto the two of the Falcons. Leading on Spirit here in the mid lane.
They just bring the entire squad.
The brawling from Falcons heroes and the play here from them is far superior than what Spirit can bring in this early game. You don't want to battle Falcons right now. They're so strong.
And you know what's so cool about this move? What did we see in the last game? What have we seen from Spirit so many times when they play? They love to collapse as 4 or 5 heroes in the mid lane. It was actually Falcons the ones to come with it first. They bring that number advantage there. They get the connections. That was beautifully done. 7-2, the pacing. It's absolutely there by Falcons this game. Early item builds too, as you see. Treads, Orb of Frost for the little, reduction of health restoration on Amar. He's going for Diffusal first pickup. And that Blink, about 1,000 gold away from Alreen. That first move from Spirit to match does get hurt. And we're seeing that greed that was talked about get punished from the early moves from Falcons.
So these moves are just going to continue to come out from them. There's so many great synergies between these heroes.
Yep. And this tower's just dead. As we've seen, this is what Malrine does, is the sanking. He is a tower pusher.
Ini
Spirit.
belum pas
the
nih.
entire name of the game is slow.
Yang leaderboardnya belum pas.
Toro can get online. Laurel getting slowed down is very painful, I would say. He is the one to have that early advantage, have that way to play around for them to slow things down to make sure that the Morphling has a good time. Him dying early on definitely hurts them quite a bit.
1,600 gold on towards the Blink Dagger right now on Maureen.
Thanking.
Agak susah ya tinggal ini.
So high level.
Banget,
He is almost level 7. Rue is level 4. So the supports on the side of Spirit really struggling. That's pretty much the Blink done. So Maureen, he can look to accelerate things massively here and collapse. He's got to go for this build that we've seen, of course, for the Magnus, the Eternal Empowerment, plus he's just going for that Dominator build, which can't be a bit greedy, right?
Muka
So in
udah
terms of
ada.
playmaking, because Laurel has been slowed down, where's the playmaking really going to come from Spirit, right?
I don't think it is.
It's there, but as individuals, it's quite lackluster.
They're going to have to avoid fights until Collapse is ready.
Yeah, pretty much it feels like that. 'Cause otherwise, they're just going to get Blink Epied. The Monkey King can jump in at a whim's notice. And it's losing towers. A second one to fall. Another blast. It's gone. Level 7. I mean, that's pretty crazy that Snaking's that high up there right now.
Ah,
Crit, making a smoke move, looking to connect with Malrine with his Blink Dagger timing. He's got... Okay, he doesn't actually have the Soulbind skill, so 3 points in the Phantom, so rather prioritizing the extra attack on it.
Yeah. I mean, thinking that Burrow Strike into the silence on the Morph, it's going to be a whole world of pain for Yatora.
Yeah.
gara-gara ini.
Here we go.
Ah, kagak tahu dah. Nggak yang play lagi. is not eligible for recommendation and restricted in search result because it's primarily direct people of. Lah kok bisa-bisanya kayak gitu, aneh banget. Coba aku restream lagi dah. Coba bentar aku restream lagi. Ntar aku restream ya guys, yang di TikTok. Visible restricted appeal apa? The notice is unclear. I'm still not sure why I got this restriction. Kenapa tiba-tiba dapat yang kayak gini ya nih? Dadah aja dah. Tiba-tiba dapat ginian. Baru aja start stream. Come on lah TikTok. Something else. Gara-gara nonton tadi gitu. Guys, aku restream ya di apa TikTok restream ya guys. And live ya. Nanti aku balik lagi guys, soalnya tadi sambil setting dulu kan. End dulu ya. Ada aja loh. Anuj. Full reply. Kalau bisa diganti. Ikan karun. Ya, Sport UFC 5 Warcraft 3. Edit apa ya? Kesini sih. Oh ini gue level 200 diamond. Profile. Kemana sih? Profile, select balance, kemana? Saldo. Oke. Ih, apaan tadi? Dia pemberitahuan apaan sih? Tiba-tiba lah kok gak ada. Tadi kan dapat 200 ya kan? Kemana sih? Ucapan halo untuk sistem data center kontrol. Kemana? Balance. Kok yang tadi belum dah? Select reward NVIDIA. Oh nanti kali kalau udah itu ini kesini nih. Ini kali nih. Lumayan ya. Kalau yang beneran 1000. Coba dah. Posting silakan live Anda untuk menjadi lebih banyak penonton. Aku belum main ya ini ya, ada. Ini kali. Yang tadi tuh maksudnya apa sih, like atau gimana? Oh, like-nya kagak ada di sini. %. Oh, harus 100. Anjir. Dan aku nggak bisa. Bener ini nih. Makin gede aja. Aduh, ke air dulu deh guys kayaknya guys. Sebelum start ininya ya. Ganti judul udah. Mules Guys, sebelum finding match aku ke air dulu ya. Nonton dulu aja ya guys. Aku pengen nonton Yatoro dulu guys. 1, 2.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Excellent.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire are scanning. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Unstoppable.
Radiant are scanning. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I'll take your tribute.
Radiant are scanning. Dire are scanning. Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Great teamwork, you vicious thugs.
Dire are scanning. Radiant are scanning.
You vicious thugs.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire are scanning. Radiant's top barracks are under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Regeneration. Invisibility.
Radiant are scanning. Dire are scanning. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Haste.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top barracks has fallen. Radiant's top barracks has fallen. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle barracks has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen. The Dire now have mega creeps. Dire are scanning. Roshan has fallen to the dire. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
Unstoppable. Great teamwork, you vicious slugs.
Radiant's courier has been killed. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I'll take that.
Great teamwork, you vicious slugs.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's ancient is under attack. Radiant's ancient is under attack.
Double kill.
Radiant's ancient is under attack. Team Falcons victory.
Bye-bye.
I'm sure Falcons is going to do their best to be ready for anyone they face in that playoff. I like how he talks about Amar having that extra responsibility and therefore also feeling extra relief, happiness when they do well in a game. Misery, I'm sure that extra responsibility, you are familiar with that and how much extra pressure it gives you when you do well or not well.
Yeah, I wasn't even aware that it was Amar doing the drafting and like has the captain role. But yeah, that's of course it's going to be. I mean, I think Skeeter has taken it a little bit lightly. The games that they've played in this event is more than just a little bit more than average.
Didn't everybody do that?
No, they didn't. They didn't. What they've been through is something else, and it's crazy for sure.
It has been pretty crazy, but Falcons, of course, every game they play, they learn and they make the good moves, and they do come back with those 70-minute games. It's experience that not a lot of players, not a lot of teams are getting right now, so that must be very valuable. And speaking of good moves that they make, we're going to head over to Purge and see one of those.
Thank you, Shiva. Yes, amazing moves across the map, but also really good draft that synergized well. They picked a lot of their main staples, the mid Sand King. They've been picking Weaver Carry a lot. It's very good against the Helm, the Dominator creeps, but they also paired them with really good support combos. Pugna's another good example of a staple support, but fitting the Grimstroke in really made their game simple. The Sand King unlocks easy towers, of course, with some little hitters here. This was a cool variation of this. Rather than commit to attacking the tower yourself, you just do the Sandstorm to clear the creep wave, and then Pugna can basically be protected by the Sandstorm and your Sand King by being here. And Spirit tried to react to this by moving their heroes over, but this variation was kind of tough. They can't just like spam out the Sand King in the same way that they normally could if he was just attacking. So these little pairings that they made were really fantastic.
We finally launched our
ever. It's the best ever, maybe.
Yeah.
There's so many good games and so many crazy things. Yeah, it's really been a bless.
How do we feel it impacted that the teams can't see each other's pubs? Maybe that also had an impact. You have to come up with your own strategies, and that's why we do see such a large diversity among the teams of what type of strategies they go for.
Oh, I would definitely say it had impact. For me, one of the standout examples is just the Dom Invoker, for example. Like, that just came out on the first day, and then Dom in general, everything, right? But it was a strategy that, first of all, on the first day, BZM comes up with, and then over the turn, we can slowly see how teams like started banning it, trying again, then also copying it. You can see a slow progress, and also in general, you saw more diverse strats across the team. So I personally, like, I really enjoy seeing that, like, not every single strategy is already being shown before, because you can just Google it, and then people can, like, come up with some niche ideas when they head into a tournament.
Yeah, and a lot of teams have been coming up with some niche ideas. Mostly the 8 teams that are still left in the competition. The 8 teams that will move out of the road to the international into the main event in the Barclay Arena in just a couple of days. Our final 8, Lizard.
Some surprises, perhaps, considering today that we lost Spirit and Liquid, but these teams have to be so glad to be proceeding into the main event. Some of them had a very rough road. I'm looking at Nigma Galaxy, like, we counted them out many times through the Swiss stage, but they kept on hitting back, they kept on coming back, and that's probably one of those fan favorites when it comes to the main stage.
I want to see it. Sorry, I'm really curious, because I just remembered Extreme Gaming, they came through with 4-0, very good. Last team that qualified, is that indeed? No, that's not our matchup. Okay, so we have our matchup. Sorry, we got ourselves Extreme Gaming versus Thunder Esports, P-Vision versus Heroic, Tidebound versus Falcons, and BB Team versus Nigma Galaxy.
Amar back on the table.
Oh, no. Actually, a lot of similar matches that we already saw here in the Swiss stage then. Like Tidebound Falcons, for example, we saw that just yesterday, right? It was a surprise here. BB Team Nigma Galaxy also was actually happening on the first day. That one went to the favor of Nigma Galaxy. One of the reasons why they are here, it was one of the upsets of this entire Swiss stage really, that they managed to beat, well, BB Team, who have had huge success over the season.
And on top, like, P-Vision Heroic as well, right? Like, Heroic that is undefeated in how many games in a row? Like 8 games. Yeah, they started off in a really weak way, but they improved tremendously. And P-Vision, they're not going to have an easy time playing against Heroic. Their Meepos, the Whispers, Pudge, I feel like they're bringing some extra SA flair to the tournament, to the whole TI.
Speaking of teams that have their own identity, right? They definitely found their own stride, picked their own heroes, and it works for them. You still need to ban out the meta heroes. There's going to be a lot of things that all these 8 teams need to think about in the next couple of days before they step onto that stage, because there's a lot of things that we learned over the last 4 days with some amazing games, and I doubt that everybody will have had the time to look at every single detail of all the teams they're gonna face. But that does mean that the road to the international has come to a close, and I do want to reflect still a little bit more with my panel. It has been a fantastic 4 days. I fully echo the sentiment, Misery. This is some of the best Dota, especially in a road to the international.
Guys, aku restream dulu ya, bentar ya. Aduh.
Very entertaining.